Today we are going to be looking at dividing and factorising polynomials. So last lesson we divided polynomials, and now we're going to extend that knowledge even further and factorise them too. So once we have divided a polynomial using the bus stop, we can then hence factorise. So basically now factorise it. So factorising the polynomial, we use the answer that you get once you've divided and you factorise that to get more factors. So altogether, with a cubic polynomial, that's what they usually use in additional maths, so you'll have a cubed term in it. You will have 3 factors altogether in your answer. Because of that cubic, it means you're going to have 3 factors at the end. So remember, you'll be given 1 factor to divide, and then once you get your answer, you factorise it to get 2 more factors for your final answer. So we're going to have a look at this through some examples. So example 1, x minus 1 is a factor of 3x cubed plus 10x squared minus 9x minus 4. Hence, factorise 3x cubed plus 10x squared minus 9x minus 4. So you can see at the top, they've given you that x minus 1 is a factor. So because we know it's a factor, we can use this to divide into the polynomial. It doesn't say divide anywhere in the question. You have to use this knowledge to divide, and then once you've divided, we can factorise. So we're going to put the bus stop down. Polynomial goes inside. And the factor goes on the outside. So remember, we divide through by this x to start. So 3x cubed divided by x gives us 3x squared, and then we times out to both parts. So 3x squared times x gives you 3x cubed, and 3x squared times minus 1 gives you minus 3x squared. Now we want to subtract this. So 3x cubed, take away 3x cubed is 0. 10x squared, take away minus 3x squared. So remember, that take away with that minus is going to be a plus. So you've got 10x squared plus 3x squared to give you 13x squared. Drag this minus 9x down ready, and we can start again. So remember, you divide through. So 13x squared divided by x gives you plus 13x, and now times out, so 13x times x is 13x squared, and 13x times minus 1 is minus 13x. And subtract, so this gives you 0, so here you have minus 9x, take away minus 13x, so you're adding again, so minus 9x plus 13x gives you 4x. Drag this down ready and start again. So we have 4x divided by x to give you plus 4, and then times out. So 4 times x is 4x, and 4 times minus 1 is minus 4, and when you subtract these you get 0, which you should, because we know it's a factor, we've already been told. So like we said now, this new step for today, we now need to hence factorise. So this answer on the top here, we need to factorise in it using our knowledge from GCSE. So I'm going to write it out here for you. So 3x squared plus 13x plus 4. So remember, when we're factorising these are the harder quadratics because we have a coefficient in front of that x squared. So you need to do 3 times 4 first, which is 12. Factors of 12, 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. And we're going to need to make the middle, so make that 13. So we're going to be using the 1 and 12. So remember, the 3x squared is going to come down, and the plus 4 is going to come down. And then we're going to put these in the middle. Remember, x is on the end. So either side, so you can either put the 12 with a 3 or the 12 with a 4, it doesn't matter. Remember, you can choose. So I'm going to go plus 12x plus x. Remember, your dotted line goes down here before the sign, and then we factorise both sides of that dotted line. So look to see what's in common here. So 3 is in common with 3 and 12, and there's an x in each term. So you're going to take 3x out. When you divide this by 3x, you're left with x. And when you divide this term by 3x, so 3 goes into 12 4 times, so plus 4, and the x divided by x is 1, so it cancels out. So we've got x plus 4 here. Remember, this sign drops down, so you're going to write your plus here. Nothing in common here, so remember it's like a plus 1. The only thing in common is 1, and we're going to have your x plus 4 on the inside of the bracket. And remember, this bracket has to be the same as this bracket here. So your final answer with the factorising is 3x plus 1, and then x plus 4, because you take the 3x and the plus 1 on the outside into one bracket, and then that repeated bracket is the other. So when we're hence factorising this cubic polynomial now, remember you need to have the 3 factors together. So we have the factor that we use to divide, so you're going to write that x minus 1 down, and then the 2 factors that you get from when you factorise. So your 3x plus 1 and your x plus 4. Example 2 then. So we have x plus 1 is a factor of x cubed plus 6x squared plus 11x plus 6, hence factorise it. So again, we need to start by dividing like we learned last time, and then we need to hence factorise, so factorise that answer that you get on the top of the bus stop. So bus stop down to start. So we've got x cubed plus 6x squared plus 11x plus 6, and we have our x plus 1 on the outside. So remember, divide by the x. So x cubed divided by x gives you x squared, and then times out. So x squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 1 is 1x squared, so plus x squared, and then subtract. So x cubed times x cubed is 0. 6x squared, take away a plus x squared, so we're going to subtract it to give you 5x squared. Drag down the plus 11x ready and start again. So 5x squared divided by x gives you plus 5x, and then we've got 5x times x to give you 5x squared, and 5x times 1 to give you 5x. Subtract, so we know this bit gives you 0, so 11x take away 5x gives you 6x. Drag the plus 6 down ready, last part. So 6x divided by x gives you plus 6, and times out, so 6 times x is 6x, 6 times 1 is 6, and when we subtract these we get 0, which is what we want. So now the hence factorise part. So again, this answer on the top here, we're going to take this and factorise it here. So x squared plus 5x plus 6. So this is the easier quadratic type, if you remember, because we haven't got a number in front of this x squared. So we just take the end value and factors of 6. So 1 lot of 6 and 2 times 3. And remember, we want to make the middle. This plus here means that we just want to find a factor that add to make 5. So we've got this 2 and 3. And remember, we can put the brackets down straight away with the easier type. We don't need to do the dotted line way. Split the x squared, x in both, and we've got a plus 2 in one and a plus 3 in other. So that style of factorising, remember, is the easier type. So remember then, just to put all 3 of your factors together. So take the factor that you use to divide, so you've got your x plus 1 as your first factor, and then these 2 after. So x plus 2, x plus 3. You can write your factors in any order because it's like they're being times together anyway. So any order will give you full marks. Example 3 then. So we've got x plus 2 is a factor of 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 11x plus 6, hence factorise. So So again, we'll start by dividing. So bus stop down again. So we've got 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 11x plus 6. Our factor goes on the outside, so x plus 2. So remember your steps and you're expecting 0 at the end of your bus stop. Because it's a factor, we know it goes in exactly. So 2x cubed divided by x gives you 2x squared. Now times out, so 2x squared times x gives you 2x cubed, and 2x squared times 2 gives you plus 4x squared. We want to subtract, so we know 2x cubed, take away 2x cubed is 0, so we have minus 3x squared, subtract plus 4x squared. So remember, this is going to turn to a take away. So you're minus 3x squared, take away 4x squared. So you're going further down that number line to give you minus 7x squared. Drag your minus 11x down, ready, and start again. So divide by the x, so minus 7x squared divided by x gives you minus 7x. Times out, minus 7x times x is minus 7x squared. Minus 7x times 2 is minus 14x. And subtract. So minus 7x squared, take away minus 7x squared is 0. Minus 11x, take away minus 14x. So remember, this changes to a plus. So minus 11x plus 14x gives you 3x. Drag down this plus 6, ready, and last part. So 3x divided by that x gives you plus 3, and times out, 3 times x is 3x, 3 times 2 is plus 6, and when we subtract these we get 0. So again, take that answer on the top of your bus stop here and factorise. So I'm going to take it over here, so we've got 2x squared minus 7x plus 3. So again, harder style of factorising here because we have that 2 in front. So remember, you do 2 times 3 is 6 and factors of 6 again. So like we said, 1 times 6 is 6, 2 times 3 is 6. So there's your factors. Remember, these drop down. So your 2x squared is going to drop down and your plus 3 is going to drop down. Using this plus, remember, that means the signs need to be the same. We need to make minus 7x. So we can use this 6 and 1, but we need a minus 1x and a minus 6x to make minus 7x. Either way round with the numbers, you can choose which one you'd rather put it with. So we'll go minus x minus 6x this time, but it doesn't matter. Remember, dotted line after the second term in front of the sign for the third term. And factorise both sides. So on this side, the only thing in common here is the x. So if we take the x out and divide by it, so 2x squared divided by x is 2x. And x divided into this minus x gives you minus 1, remember, not 0. This minus drops down, and then look to see what's in common. So 3 goes into both. 3 goes into 6 twice, so we get 2x there. And remember, you've got minus 3 here, it goes into plus 3. We want minus and the plus makes a minus. 3 goes into 3 once. Notice this bracket is the same, so that's good. So then your final answer, remember the outside bit, this x and the minus 3 goes in one bracket, and the 2x minus 1 in the other. Final step, make sure you put those 3 factors all together. So take the factor that you used to divide. So you've got your x plus 2, and then your 2 factors from once you've factorised. So you have x minus 3 and 2x minus 1. Okay. So to finish off this lesson, we're just going to have a look at a past paper question from an additional maths paper, so you can see what they usually look like. And these are very popular exactly in this format. So you can see we start with a find the remainder, then it says a show that this is a factor, and then it has a hence factorise. So bringing all the things we've learnt over the last few lessons together into a past paper question. So part A, find the remainder when 2x cubed minus x squared plus 2x plus 1 is divided by x plus 3. So remember, this is when you're substituting a value into this to get a remainder. You don't have to do it like a bus stop. And the best way to realise what you need to do here is the amount of marks. It's only 2 marks, but when you're doing a bus stop, it's more like 4. Okay, so remember, you take that factor that they've given you, even though we know it's going to be a remainder, so it's not a factor. And we've got x plus 3, put it equal to 0 and rearrange. So we have x equals minus 3. Okay, so remember we used to let f of x equal our polynomial. So we're going to put our minus 3 in, so we're going to have f to the minus 3 equals. And remember that minus 3 gets substituted everywhere where you have an x value. So we have 2 times minus 3 cubed minus 3 squared. And remember what we said, whenever we have a negative value, they need to go in brackets, plus 2 times minus 3 plus 1. So remember, work out each term. You can type them in your calculator, but make sure you're showing some workings. So we've got 2 times minus 3 cubed. Well, minus 3 cubed gives you minus 27. So 2 times minus 27 is minus 54. Take away minus 3 squared, which gives you 9. Minus 3 times minus 3, plus 2 times minus 3, minus 6, plus 1. So you've got minus 54, minus 9, plus a minus, which makes a minus 6, plus 1. Type it in your calculator and it should give you minus 68 for your remainder. Part B, part 1 then. So show that x plus 2 is a factor of x cubed minus 6x squared minus 49x minus 66. So notice this show that. Again, only 2 marks, so we don't want to do the bus stop, we want to do it the same way as we did the remainder from the remainder theorem. So take your factor, so take x plus 2, put it equal to 0 and rearrange. So you've got x equals minus 2. So again, we're going to let this polynomial be f of x. So we're going to have our f of minus 2 equals, and we're going to substitute that minus 2 in everywhere where they have an x. So we've got minus 2 cubed minus 6 times minus 2 squared minus 49 times minus 2 minus 66. So you've got minus 2 cubed, so minus 2 times minus 2 times minus 2 is minus 8. Remember, you can use your calculator for this. Take away 6 times minus 2 squared. So minus 2 squared gives you 4, times it by 6, 24. Take away 49 times minus 2, so double 49 with a minus, so minus 98, and then that minus 66. Notice that those 2 minuses are going to make a plus. So you have minus 8, minus 24, plus 98, minus 66. Type it into your calculator and it gives you 0. So last part of this style of question, notice it says hence in bold, so now or then, factorise x cubed minus 6x squared minus 49x minus 66. And notice it's a B part 1 and then A part 2. So you're using this factor, this x plus 2, and notice the polynomial is exactly the same. So you're using this x plus 2 and we're going to divide into it. So we're using the x plus 2 from the previous part. So hence factorise, notice it's 4 marks. So you have to divide through because you have to get the quadratic as your answer on the top of the bus stop so you can factorise it. So bus stop down, polynomial on the inside, x plus 2 on the outside, and divide. We know we're going to get 0, we've shown that it's a factor, but we have to do this to get our quadratic on the top. So x cubed divided by x gives you x squared, and times out. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 2 is plus 2x squared. And subtract. So x cubed, take away x cubed is 0, minus 6x squared, minus plus 2x squared. So remember, you're subtracting here. So minus 6x squared minus 2x squared gives you minus 8x squared. You're going further down the number line. Bring the minus 49x down and start again. So divide by that x, so minus 8x squared divided by x gives you minus 8x, and times out. So minus 8x times x gives you minus 8x squared. Minus 8x times 2 gives you minus 16x, and subtract. So minus 8x squared minus 8x squared gives you 0. Be careful on this one, use your calculators if you need to. So minus 49x, subtract minus 16x. So you're adding 16x onto minus 49x. It gives you minus 33x. Bring that minus 66 down. And last part, so minus 33x divided by x gives you minus 33, and times out, so minus 33 times x gives you minus 33x, and minus 33 times 2 gives you minus 66. And notice these lines are identical, so they subtract to give 0. Remember, take your answer from the top of the bus stop, so we're going to take our x squared minus 8x minus 33 to factorise. So it's one of our nicer quadratics because we don't have our coefficient on the front. So we can put it straight into our double brackets. Remember, split that x squared and x in both. And we want factors of 33. So factors of 33, we have 1 goes in 33 times, 2 doesn't go in, and 3 goes in 11 times. And that is all the factors for 33. So we've got a minus here in front of our 33. Remember, that means the signs should be different. So we want 1 plus and 1 minus. So using our factors, we need to get to minus 8x. So we're going to be using this 11 and 3. And remember, to get to minus 8x, we're going to need minus 11 and plus 3. So minus 11 gets written in, and plus 3. Remember, don't put an x on the end of these. You only want the x at the front of the bracket. And then finally, put those 3 factors together. So we have x plus 2 from where we divided. We know that's a factor. And then the 2 here. So x minus 11 and x plus 3.